Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
Greetings, family, and welcome back to Raising the Vibe. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. As always, I ask that you like this video and please subscribe to the channel. Today, I'd like to talk about the dangers of electronic banking. I'm not sure how many of you realize this, but it seems to me that the powers that be are doing everything they can to convert us away from a cash society to one that is totally digital, or what I call electronic banking. Take a look at a couple of these clips from the World Economic Forum. Now, the World Economic Forum itself is worthy of an entire video, and soon I will do one. In the meantime, I encourage you to look up the World Economic Forum and look up Klaus Schwab, who is the head of that institution. But moving on, here's a clip that I did from a video for another platform that shows some of the ways they have been trying to push us into full electronic banking. The powers that be have been doing everything they can to switch us over from the use of cash to solely electronic banking. So, for example, during COVID, there was a time when they kept saying, cash is dirty, we don't take cash. And then here on the East Coast, we're having a national shortage of coins. Please use exact change. In my mind, those things were being done to move us away from cash. Another thing I've noticed on the East Coast, at least, is that we used to have a ton of banks everywhere, branches all around. It's very convenient. But they started shutting down branches of various banks. So now there's only one branch of each type of bank within a certain space, whereas there used to be 3, 4, or whatever. So it's inconvenient. It's more of a hassle. You have to go out of your way to get to the bank. And another thing they're doing is merging banks left and right. Here, SunTrust and BB&T, which are two relatively large banks, have merged into Truist. And there have been other bank mergers as well. They are also constantly encouraging us to have direct deposit. So Cash App and some of the banks will say, hey, want your money earlier? Get direct deposit. Get your money up to 2 days earlier. And more importantly, certain employers require you to have electronic banking. The federal government is one. There are a number of companies now that will not send you a check regardless. It's not an option. Your only choice is direct deposit. And that's another way to urge us, push us along into digital banking. So we know they want to push us into electronic banking, and we know some of the ways they're doing it. But what's the problem with that? Take a look at this clip. And while people may think, well, that's convenient, I'll just whip out my debit card, I'll whip out my credit card, I don't have to have cash, I don't have to have change, I don't have to be bothered with that. The thing you may not be thinking about is that every time you whip out that card to complete a purchase, you're creating an electronic record. That means they know what you purchased, when you purchased it, and how much you paid for it. There's no more anonymity. Everything is monitored and tracked. And that, I believe, is why they're trying to move us to electronic banking. And there are additional potential dangers I see from a totally cashless society that requires us to rely solely on digital or electronic banking. For one, there's the fees. I have a legal malpractice insurance policy in connection with my law firm. That company wants to charge me $15 a month to make a payment. Not a late payment, not a late fee, but a $15 convenience fee for making my payment electronically. And I have to confess, sometimes I have to do it because I've forgotten to mail a check, which is really the only other way to pay them. But even though most fees aren't that high. There's $1.50 here, $2.75 there, 1% here. That adds up over time. Imagine a society where every payment you make is electronic and comes with a convenience fee. That could be very expensive. But the really big danger that I see with a full-on electronic banking society is if you do something that displeases them being the global elite, or that is not in line with what they wish you to do, how easy is it just to cut off all your access to all of your funds? It's all electronic. They can dead those accounts, deactivate them, whatever the terminology or the process would be. And for people like me who think outside of the box and who tend to do things outside of the box, that's a problem. That's a major problem. There are other issues involving electronic banking, but I just wanted to come on and do a short video. I would love to hear what you think, whether you think it's positive and something that we should be trying to move forward to. Maybe you see some issues that I haven't raised here. Whatever you think about it, I love to hear it. And in the meantime, just be careful. Or as I said here, but the bottom line is there's a sinister intention behind it, and we need to be aware and resist. I whip out cash at every turn, and I suggest that the rest of you do too. Well, family, I hope you found this video informative and thought-provoking. Thank you again so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. In the meantime, and until then, peace and love and light.